Hi, I'm Caitlin from the Good Food Box, and today I'm going to show you how to make a quick and easy apple coleslaw. So we're going to start with the dressing, which will be half a cup of mayonnaise. So just add that to a bowl. And then we have 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, then we have 1 teaspoon of honey, and then you can just add some salt and pepper to taste, so as much as you want. And then just give that all a stir so it's all mixed, all the ingredients are well mixed. And you'll have a nice and creamy dressing. Okay, so now we're gonna cut up the cabbage. So you want half a small cabbage, but in this case I actually have red and green cabbage, so I'm just gonna use a quarter of each. We're gonna start by cutting out the stem of the cabbage because you don't want to eat that part. So you just kind of make like a triangle cut on each side. And you can just cut it out like that, and then you can discard this stem. And then I find when cutting cabbage, it's easier to just thinly slice it with a knife than to shred it. So just take like a fairly large knife and just kind of thinly slice along the side like this. And then you can just keep doing that. And then you're gonna want to just kind of chop these up so that they're a little bit more bite-sized pieces, but still pretty large pieces, like that. So they'll probably be around this big. If you only have green cabbage, that's fine, but we're gonna use red cabbage because it has some vitamin C, vitamin A, and vitamin B6 in it, more so than green cabbage, so we're just kind of increasing the nutrient density of the salad. And we're going to do the same thing as we did with the green, so you want to cut out the stem, and then you can discard that, and then just thinly slice it again. Okay, so next we're going to wash and peel the carrots. So we're just going to give them a quick wash and then peel off the outer skin using a vegetable peeler. And carrots are also really high in vitamin A and vitamin C, so just adding more nutrients to our salad. So you can discard the peel. I'm just going to chop up the end quickly. And for the coleslaw, we're actually going to use a cheese grater to just grate them up finely. And when you get close to the end, you can just discard the top of it. Just want to watch your fingers. And then we'll add all of this into the bowl with the rest of the vegetables. And for this recipe, you want about 3 medium-sized carrots. Okay, so the final step for our coleslaw is apples, so we're going to wash them first. And we're also going to grate the apples because, again, we want them the same consistency. I'm using Granny Smith apples. I think these are a good choice for grating because they're more firm than some other apple types, and they just kind of have not as sweet of a taste, so they'll be a nice complement to the salad. So you want to cut them into quarters and then kind of take away the core. And then we're just going to use the side of the apple and just grate it. And then a good tip with the apples, so that they don't get brown while you're grating them, is to actually add them to the dressing. because it has some acid in it, and it will kind of prevent them from going brown while you're preparing everything else. So we're just gonna do 3 apples the same way. Just keep adding them to the dressing until you're done. Okay, so the final step is just to add the bowl with the dressing and the apples. And just add it to all of the vegetable. And then the easiest thing to do is grab just a pair of tongs and just kind of mix it all together. And then once it's all mixed, it's actually best if you let coleslaw sit for about half an hour before you serve it, because then you get the flavors all mixing together. And it kind of softens up. The acid in the dressing will kind of soften up the cabbage a little bit, so it won't be as hard and crunchy. So if you have any leftover coleslaw, it will keep in the fridge for about 3 days. And I know this makes a lot, so you can always just half the recipe if you're not making it for as many people. This makes about 10 servings. And then, yeah, you can just keep it in the fridge for a few days. Just make sure to stir it up every time.